Guys, as you can imagine, with every single EU4 game, it's gonna be completely RNG and completely different. That's why, despite not having the best start in this Austria campaign, I decided to keep this to show you guys what it's like when you have a tough or rough start and how you should best deal with it. Because, for example, here, Milan has managed to get an heir, which means that I did not get the basically free union over Milan. Burgundy even got an heir, which is gonna make it considerably harder to actually get the inheritance to trigger on my side and so on. So yeah, realistically speaking, this is probably one of the worst Austria starts I've had in a while, and that's why we're gonna be min-maxing the schnapps out of here. We are gonna try and get our reforms done now. We are close to getting our first reform. Once we get the third one, we're gonna be able to attack nations to make them join the HRE, which means it's gonna be insanely fast to do our reforms after, because we're gonna get a lot of imperial authority from that. But until that point, we can also diplomatically make nations join, because as of the last update, we can invite nations to the empire as long as there's a continuous connection to our capital and as long as they have the relations with us. Right now, Albania doesn't have the relations, nor do they have a continuous line to the capital. So our main target is going to be into the west. We will probably divide the French lands, make them cancel all of their vassals, and make all of those vassals join the HRE one by one. Same thing is going to happen with the Poles, but I will likely get a personal union over Poland. So I don't want to fracture Poland too much. They did get their union with Lithuania, so that means I'm going to get Lithuania as well as a junior member once I get the Poles. And of course, we also have to deal with the big bad boy Ottomans over in the Balkans. Cut them to size before they actually get stronger. Right now, they're military tech 5, and we are only military tech 3. We've had super bad RNG with our mana points. Even had a lot of horrible events that lowered our mana points. So we cannot take on the Ottomans right now. Their units are basically 3 times better than our units, and they would absolutely crush us. So we have to fight the Ottomans in the mid part of the campaign, which is the tough part, because that's when the Ottomans get insanely strong. So for now, my main focus is going to be to get a diplomatic vassalization of Trent and vassalization of Brabant. Once I have these two as my vassals, I can do another one of my missions that unlocks some more pathways into expanding around the HRE. Plus, we gotta chill for a while because we gotta fix our mana situation. We got 8 production development, 9 production development, and 6 production development in our gold mines. So let's actually increase that a little bit more. Optimally, we want to bring this up to 10 production development in all 3 of the gold mines. Well, all 4 of the gold mines. I forgot I also have Kosovo, which is being cored up right now. Albania is requesting military access from us. They're at war with the Ottomans. Oh, that is not bueno at all. That means the Ottomans are at war with Venice too, right? Yes, they are. That also means we can also attack Venice at the same time, take advantage of this, and maybe get a foothold in the Venetian lands, which we desperately want to have for ourselves, because we want to change our trade capital to the Venetian node, which is considerably better than our starting Vienna node. By the way, if you are wondering how we got to this point, you'll have a link to the first part of this campaign in the description. And if we get 10,000 likes on this video, I plan on making this a 4 parts campaign where I explain in detail everything that I'm doing, and so you guys can keep up with me and maybe try and have an awesome Austria campaign as well. You must also be wondering, how did you manage to get all of these lands, Ludi, without a coalition? Whenever I try to replicate your games, I always get a coalition. Boys, I also get a coalition. Look at this. I do have a coalition. The difference is, if this coalition triggers, I'm gonna schnapple dupe them, okay? Because it's easy to destroy coalitions, and that's why I don't fear coalitions. The only thing that happens when this triggers is that it prevents me from attacking specific nations. But like the nations that I actually want to attack, i.e. Venice and a few other nations here, maybe the Swiss later on, are not in the coalition. Well, the Venetians were a couple of seconds ago, but they are not anymore because they're at war with the Ottomans. So it's all about taking advantage of the right moment when you can attack nations that you have an interest in, even if they're a part of the coalition. And don't worry about coalitions triggering. Even if the massive coalition triggers, as long as you get the war score from winning the battles, you can piece them out with the white piece or even take stuff from them. I've got a few videos where I've done that. You'll find a link to those in the description. Even a video on how to properly deal with coalitions is in the description too, and how to manage your aggressive expansion essentially. We should be able to get our vassalization with Brabant now, since we've gotten the relations with them. How did we get the relations so fast? Well, just take a look at all these modifiers here. I've done a lot of things, including allying them, proclaim guaranteeing, getting a royal marriage, sending a gift, and so on. And that means we got our second actual vassal, and that also means that we can now get the strong duchies privilege that lowers our liberty desire for subjects, and it gives us 2 extra diplo relations. So that means we are only getting -1 from diplo relations, since we have 8 out of 7. If we cancel the alliance with Mainz, we're actually not going to lose any Diplo points from Diplo relations, but I need Mainz to support me because right now, for some reason, Brandenburg's not supporting me as Holy Roman Emperor, so I just have to improve with them a little bit, I guess. Oh my lord, Venice is getting its ass kicked by the Ottomans. Oof, this is no bueno, boys. I don't want to see Venice lose that badly, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. I'll wait until they completely crush Venice, and then I'll attack afterwards, like a jackal, essentially. Alrighty, boys, we got the first call for Reichsreform, meaning we can now get construction costs and dev cost reduction, and we're working our way towards the second reform, Institute Reichsregiment, giving us Diplo reputation and diplomats, so just a few more years of peace and prosperity, but we also will try to add some nations to the HRE now, including the Teutonic Order. So I'm going to try and get an alliance with the Teutons simply so I can get them to join the HRE. Just as I got the alliance, the Hochmeister of the Teutons want to join the Empire. We got the Imperial Diet for this now. Let the Teutonic Order join the Empire, allow them to join, but put heavy regulations on them, and this is going to give us Imperial Authority 14.6, or reject their request of joining the HRE. I'm going to go ahead and say a middle one, because that's the one that gives me the highest amount of Imperial Authority. But then again, who am I to judge their entrance, right? Oh wait, I'm the HRE Emperor, so of course, I'm the actual person who decides what happens here, okay? So we're getting that Imperial Authority from these boyos, and we're going to get more from other boyos in these lands very, very soon. Also close to getting my third vassal here, the Trent Republic, or Trent Bishopric. Ooh, schnabadoob, schnababadabubadabubadabo. Hello, Claudio Medici di Marignano. Okay, this is both good and bad. The bad part is that we got a lot of aggressive expansion, but the good part is that we can get our union with the Milanese now. Hell yes, let's attack them. Oh, I need one more month to get Trent. Okay, fingers crossed that within 1 month, Milan is not going to lose the Ambrosian Republic and I can actually attack them. Let's start paying for our units as well now. Well, you get my drift. It was actually 2 months, not 1 month, because we had to wait for a second month before we can vassalize them. But hey, now we got it. We can call in Saxony, Palatinate, Mainz. I don't need to call anyone in. Let's get our next personal union ski. Aber unzi Milaniski. How much aggressive expansion is that actually going to be? Let's see. Union with Milan. 36. That's actually very, very little, man. That is very little considering we get Milan and we are actually going to be able to feed them back these two provinces here that the Venetians took from them earlier. So we're basically getting half of North Italy, one of the richest areas, for just 36 aggressive expansion. Take note, this event usually happens a lot earlier in the campaign. For me, it happened later down the line because the initial leader of Milan had an heir, but a lot of the times they don't get an heir, and if they don't get an heir, then the Ambrosian Republic pretty much triggers instantly within the first couple of years. So it is RNG, but eventually the Ambrosian Republic event will trigger one way or another. And when it happens, both France and Austria get that personal union. So make sure that you do not ally Milan, you do not royal marry Milan, have no diplo relations with Milan. Otherwise, you might end up with a truce, or you might end up having to take a stab hit in order to attack them to get the union. And I'm saying this because I've seen people recommending that you ally and get a royal marriage with Milan. That is the bad thing to do. Do not do that, because then you screw yourself up for no reason. Well, shibby doom, we got two issues now. The first one is that Danzig just appeared, so let's see how much that's gonna impact the Teutonic Order. It doesn't impact that much, actually. We're getting more Imperial Authority now because more nations support our option here. And it also seems like Venice just made peace with the Ottomans, like right now, I guess. So I'm gonna be attacking Venice before they join the coalition against me again. I want to get a truce going with them, and this is not too much of a coalition to fight, so we should be a-okay with it. I'm gonna call in my allies just so I have someone to take care of this war for me whilst I'm busy with the Milanese. I don't want to have to actually fight the Venetians too much. I'm probably not gonna take anything from them, or if I do, I will likely just take these two provinces. The Ottomans were pretty greedy. They took a lot of lands. Even from the Venetians, they took most of the Venetian holdings in this war. They only left them with Crete in the Balkans, whilst everything else is now pretty centralized. The Ottomans are having a great game, man. The Ottomans are having better RNG than I'm having in my own freaking save game. Now in this Venetian war, I'm gonna focus on the allies of Venice first before I focus on the Venetians themselves so I can actually piece them out quickly and do other things that I want to do, of course. Ah, yes. We just got one of the best events ever. No, not this one here. The Schwarze Silver Mine, giving us 1 extra goods produced in the province of Intal, which is our gold mine. That is the equivalent of getting 5 production development here, meaning we're getting a huge amount of gold from Intal as it is, and it's going to massively boost our economy. It's good that we got this pretty early on as well. Well, I could have gotten it a little bit earlier, I guess. It is, as everything else on this game, pretty RNG. And now we've allowed the Teutons to join the HRE, bringing us up to 21 Imperial Authority as consequence. There you go. They are sadly going to be absolutely schnapple-duped by Danzig, but what's left of them, I might be able to vassalize once they lose the other provinces, and then I'm going to be feeding them back the provinces that that Danzig took from them. Or I don't need to bother with that if I just take it from Poland, I guess, when I get my PU over Poland. There's so many multiple options I can approach this particular area of the world. Another Imperial incident happened right afterwards. Okay, fair enough. What's going on here? Yeah, okay, we lost the Imperial band. That's good. So the Shadow Kingdom, we get 2 options. We can either choose to let the Italian nation stay a part of the HRE. We can choose to let them leave. Now, if we rein them in, we lose Imperial Authority. If we abandon them, we gain 13 Imperial Authority, and I want to abandon them because I can also get Imperial Authority from having them rejoin, but there's a big but here. All the nations that initially existed and were a part of the HRE cannot rejoin. You're not going to get the Imperial Authority even if they do rejoin. So the nations in Italy that I want to have join the empire are the ones that don't exist in 1444. So that means like Verona, Padova, Parma, all of these nations, they will give me Imperial Authority once they join the empire, once I liberate them, of course. We're going for diplomatic ideas. Austria is known as one of the best diplomatic nations in the game, if not the best diplomatic nation in the game. And having diplomatic first means we get 2 extra diplomats, we get diplo relations, diplo reputation, and province war score cost, meaning we can take more provinces in wars. So if we want to do a world conquest, the best option is to go for diplomatic first, follow that up with either humanist or religious based on whatever kind of world conquest you want to go for, then influence and so on, admin. Aristocratic is also really good as a first military idea, but honestly, man, as a country like Austria, you don't even need military ideas because you're just going to have super huge amounts of subjects and you're going to be expanding like crazy diplomatically in the first place. Military doesn't matter the quality of the troops when you have way more troops than everybody else combined, does it? So we got a little bit of a situation again, boys. We did not finish our war with the Venetians yet. We are about to finish the one with Milan. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the union with Milan, and we're also going to get all the money that we can from them, of course. Currently, that's not the maximum amount, but we can get 193. Booyah Shnoki. That is one out of the way. Now, the problem that I was mentioning is the fact that once we have this here enacted, every province in the HRE that has not been reigned in will lose 0.2 Imperial Authority per province in North Italy. So, well, boys, we got to get alliances with all of the Italian nations that we can before that happens. Otherwise, we're gonna lose a lot of Imperial Authority. So the way to do that is just to get an ally. But I'm at war with most people, so that's why I gotta make peace with them. The sooner the better. Let's see, when our diplomat comes back, I'm gonna try and see if I can get with these guys. I can. White peace. That's fair. That's fair. I'll take the white peace. I might even have to do a white peace with Venice itself, since I do not want to lose too much Imperial Authority from reigning in the Italians. Better yet, from not reigning in the Italians. Yeah, so I've timed this. I actually have about a month left until that Imperial Diet finishes, so I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to rein in the Italians. I'm not going to abandon Italy, because if I do go for the abandon Italy option, I am going to lose all of my Imperial Authority. I didn't play this properly. If I realized this would have happened now, I would not have gone to war with the Venetians. That's the main thing that cucked me. If I didn't do this war, I would have 50 Imperial Authority by now, so I could do the second reform. That's just, it's just bad luck, really. And it looks like Poland and Danzig just took most of the Teutonic Order. They left them with one province. Can we vassalize them? No, we cannot, but we are close to it. So we might be able to once we increase our economic output a little bit. And yes, this gave us -1 Imperial Authority. It would have given us minus everything. We would have went down to 0 if we went for the first option because of the fact that we couldn't do the peace deal in time. That means I'm going to take it out on the Venetians, and I'm going to take a lot of lands from them compared to what I was initially going to do, which was a white peace. Now they're gonna pay for it. It's their fault. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a Diplo hit here in the sense that I'm paying extra Diplo points for this particular peace deal because I'm gonna be releasing Verona and Aquileia, both of which will join the Empire, and as such, I'm gonna get more imperial authority from them. I'm also taking the coastline because I can and because I'm greedy, and it's gonna be a little bit of a coalition, which, well, most of the countries in that coalition already are in a coalition, so it's really not relevant at all. And now we can core this stuff up. Plus, we can start improving with these bad boys in the hopes that they will also join the HRE. If not, we'll try to invite them to join the HRE, and they will likely do so. To help them out with that, I'm gonna get an alliance quickly. This brought my relations to 106, and I need how many relations? I need about 104 if I'm not mistaken with Aquileia, for example. I just need to get a little bit more of a pull over them in order to get them to accept my invitation now. Or maybe they just join by themselves without me asking them to join. That's also an option. Man, I love it when the AI asks for stuff from you. It's just the bestest ever, especially when it means you're gonna have to take a loan now. Oh well, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get rid of their little pretender rebels here before they cancel our union. And whilst we're at it, we can also attack Herzegovina. We can take our cores back from them and also fully annex Wallachia, because of course we want to start integrating Bosnia, and Bosnia has cores on Herzegovina that we want to get beforehand. Oh, Stefan, completely destroken them, bro. There you go, Stacken Vapenicum. Let's make sure that Bosnia has their objective to siege down the province of Hum. Is that where the hummus comes from? That was a little bit cringe, wasn't it? Wait a second. What just happened here? I smell opportunity. Let's make sure we make use of this opportunity. We're gonna ask Saluzzo to give back Savoy, and we're gonna be diplo-vassalizing Savoy. Okay, it seems like we might struggle a little bit with it. Let's see if we get an alliance with them if we can. I'm gonna improve relations with Savoy because I feel like I can diplo-vassalize them, and then I can use them to feed them all of their previous cores and get basically all of the Italian bit that I don't have already under my control that way. Alternatively, I can ask Milan, so I can set my vital interest in Savoy, and I can ask them to get a claim on them, and then I can use a conquest CB on Savoy and then vassalize them militarily if they don't agree to my diplomatic path. But they will agree to my diplomatic path. 5364 means that once I get my alliance and a royal marriage, they will definitely agree to it. So I'm just gonna do that after I get my diplo relations up a little bit first. Honestly, guys, in this game, it's all about taking advantage of your situation. So it's gonna be different, of course, from game to game, but as long as you mold yourself on whatever RNG you get, you're gonna make the most out of your game 100%. Like, truly what makes a player better than other players at EU4 is knowing how to handle your situation, regardless of what that situation is like. Also interesting to see how the Swiss actually managed to get massive, but they didn't take the 3 leagues yet. I mean, it's a weird shape for Switzerland, isn't it? Next step, boys, is do the peace deal with the Wallachians. Take all the money they got, of course, and let's bring our diplomat back. But yes, no key coalition wise, literally nobody important because they're all gonna be dead ski very soon after this. We are gonna be concentrating development here, so it's a little bit cheaper to core this up, and we're gonna be, of course, coring it up. It's gonna take a while, so keep that in mind. And last but not least, of course, Herzegovina is gonna go straight to Bosnia. 1.3 aggressive expansion. It's almost as if there's no aggressive expansion for this, and the great part is that now we can also start integrating Bosnia together with who else can I integrate? I think Trent I was able to integrate as well. I believe so. I also strongly recommend that you guys give out the nobility integration policy when you start integrating your subjects, because it's going to make it 5% faster to integrate them. It is going to increase the liberty desire in subjects, so keep that in mind. Should be a-okay as Austria. You don't have issues with that. Just improve relations, and that's pretty much all you need to do, but just keep that in mind. The other great benefit of this privilege is that you do not get the -3 diplo reputation once you finish integrating your subjects, which means you can continuously integrate your subjects one after the other without the repercussions of waiting for 10 years for that particular modifier to go away. Here's something a lot of you guys don't know about me. I play a lot of Escape from Tarkov, and despite the fact that I really love the game, I still like EU4 more for a few reasons. First off, I like influencing the nations around and just planning something many years before it happens. For example, I will be eventually getting a PU over Brandenburg, and the way that I planned that is I got a royal marriage with them earlier. I waited. Now their leader has no heir because he died, and if he passes with no heir, then a noble from my dynasty goes to lead their country, eventually paving the way for me getting a PU on that nation, and I do the same with all of my allies, to be fair. Another thing here, for example, is that Aragon, for some reason, did not get a PU from the Castilians, so they're still independent, and they have like 5 provinces. Castile has been manually eating them after every single truce passed, so okay. Even Naples has been, okay, Naples is still eating them apparently, fair enough. So of course, my plan is to vassalize them and feed them back all of the cores that they have here. Oh, they lost a few cores in the south. Wow. How is that possible? Oh, this is Catalan. Oh, right. That makes sense. Yes, it's not the Aragonese, my bad. So in order to do that, I have another plan, right? You need to plan it 5 steps ahead. So step number 1 is attack Savoy, which I got a claim on because I've been asking my Milanese PU to get a claim on them. After I vassalize Savoy, I'm gonna feed them back the cores they have, including a war against Genoa, and in that war, I give back these 2 provinces, plus I take Corsica for myself, and then I can get a claim on Aragon directly, and with that claim, I'll vassalize Aragon. So this is like 3 wars away, but I'm already thinking about it, and I love the fact that I get the choice of thinking so far ahead before I do a specific action. That's what really makes EU4 such an amazing game, you know, like, there's not many games where you have so much tactical thought and strategic thought, and it's just very, very unique in that particular regard. I don't think any other game that's ever gonna come out is gonna be like this. Maybe EU5 if they stick with the same model, but I strongly suspect that EU5 is gonna be similar to Vicky 3, which let's see how that's gonna be. It's gonna be new, that's for sure. All of that rand aside, I'm also gonna be chilling for a while since I need to wait for my mana points to catch up. Still, we did get military tech 5, but the Ottomans are already at military tech 6, so before I attack the Ottomans, I need to get my military tech a little bit higher. I'm also waiting for Bohemia to integrate their other subject. Once that happens, I'll be attacking Poland. I need to get the south bit of Poland in order to get my PU over Poland via my missions here. So we do recover Silesia, that gives the claims, and then we do conquest of Galicia and get the PU. So we have basically most of Central Europe afterwards. So after I get Poland, I'm going to be doing my wars against the Ottomans. It's going to be a little bit of an unfortunate thing because mid-game Ottomans, which is when I'm going to have my wars with them, is the strongest Ottomans. But I'm also going to use this as a platform to show you guys how you can defeat the Ottomans in the mid-game when they are the strongest, right? 22nd of November, we can do our little Warium maximum. Let's bring our boyos there. It's 1 province. Very, very easy to do this. Not even any sort of a challenge. The challenge is going to come once we fight the other nations here. I plan on reigning in the Italians though, so after this, I'm probably going to ally all of the Italian nations that I can ally, so I can do this mission reign in the Italians, and then I can start wiping out the Italians afterwards. Actually, I did notice one issue here, namely, Naples actually took Siena, which means I'm not going to be able to reign in the Italians because Siena is a part of that, and Naples is never going to accept my alliance. Let's see, their relations with me are pretty horrible. Actually, no, wow, okay, 50 and 29. So if I'm at peace, I can actually get an alliance with them. Never mind then. All right, let's see, 14 aggressive expansion to make Savoy my vassal. Not really that bad considering the amount of claims that they have. And their rivalries, sure, we can do that. Get a little bit of money and a positive ski, 100% ski. Noise. Now we can start our next wars. First off, against, I believe Genoa should be my first target because they're also allied to Venice, and Venice allied France. So I'm gonna use this war to make Venice cancel their alliance with the French and their alliance with the Neapolitans for that matter, right? I'm gonna need more troops for that, so I'm actually gonna maintain my army. I did not maintain it before because Savoy only had 3,000 units and my mercenaries were more than enough to handle 3,000 units, obviously. Also, in order to reign in the Italians, I can ally every single Italian nation with the exception of Ferrara and Saluzzo. So I have to improve relations with them up next. Let's bring this guy back and we can improve with Ferrara then. Well, now we are on equal footing with the Ottomans because we both have military tech 6. Of course, we are lagging with our Diplo points because, well, let's face it, we use our Diplo points to annex a lot of nations, so there's that. Plus, we use them for the national ideas because we got Diplo ideas first, right? Actually, you know what? I feel like I maybe could get a level 3 advisor. He is not my promote. Oh, he's Serbian. Why is everybody in my court Serbian for that matter? What? Am I getting secretly replaced by Serbian people here? Not to mention, I also used a lot of Diplo points to increase my gold mine, so there's that also, right? I think that's the biggest issue as the Austrians. Early game, Diplo points is a huge problem. I also just realized if I do reign in now Genoa, I'm gonna get a 5 years truce after I cancel the alliance, so... Oh, I hate doing this, and I've changed my plans 1,000 times already, but I gotta do it, boys. We're gonna be rushing for Genoa, and we're also gonna be trying to get that peace deal with the Venetians as soon as possible. Since I need need to actually get something close to a white peace with them. Maybe I'll release Padova, something of the sorts. Would be cool if there was an option to make a nation destroy their fleets in the war deal, like as part of the peace deal, destroy their fleets. Would make my life a lot easier in this particular campaign. I absolutely love it how my multiple subjects are basically winning all the battles for me. I don't even need to struggle having any actual fights here, man. It's kind of one of the main reasons why Austria is just insanely powerful, especially after you form the HRE. We've integrated Bosnia, which means we can do defeat the Serbs. Wait a second. Integrated Bosnia, but defeat the Serbs. Is PDX trying to start a war in the Balkans that I don't know about? Interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, this is gonna give us permanent claims on the Bulgarian area, so we got that going for us whenever we're ready to go to war with the Ottomans. It pains me to do this, but I have to get rid of the Savoyard separatists. I know they would have eventually returned the provinces to me, but it would take way too long, so I'm not in the mood to wait for that. Hey, we got recover Silesia. That means Bohemia integrated both of their vassals, and it also means that we can get ready afterwards to attack the Poles, get the southern bits here, so we can get our PU over Poland afterwards. Only 403 days to get Genoa, not too long. Let's try and boost up over here the siege of Lucca so we get them out of the war as well. I would actually be pretty happy if I was to cancel all of the alliances that Lucca has. Maybe that way Lucca is gonna get annexed by Florence, and then I can get rid of one more annoying little Italian nation here. Take note, guys, after you integrate your subjects, you still have to lower the autonomy because vassals and PUs have 60% autonomy in provinces after integrated. There you go. See here it says 59.79. That's because it's been a few months. Now that it is a full state though, once I am at peace, I will lower the autonomy in these provinces. I cannot do it now because I'm not at peace, obviously. It took considerably longer to get Treviso though, but now I think we're ready to cancel those alliances that they have with the French and the Neapolitans. Let's also destroy their army whilst we're at it. Since they're going to be landing over in Istria, we can go over there quickly. That looks like the Hungarians beat me to it, my boys. That look. They're already destroying all of the Venetian army by themselves. Fair enough. Glad to see my little Hungarian Schnippeldupe is doing pretty good for itself. Lots of glory in taking out these Venetian boyos, I see. And now they would also be willing to release Padova alongside canceling those alliances. 84-83. I can give Ravenna to the Papal States later down the line in a future war. Maybe after we attack them for Bergamo and Brescia. And oh boy, this is no bueno. Aragon is gone. Quite literally, Naples fully annexed all of the provinces Aragon had, and they released Catalonia, which means there is no Aragon to speak of. My plans of getting the Aragonese are not possible anymore. Well, I mean, I could still take some provinces, but I couldn't release Aragon from Sardinia because this is not one of their cultures, is it? I don't think so. Sardinian is not one of their cultures. I would have to take a Catalonian province or an Aragonese province to release Aragon. Well, guess plans change, boys. That's why this game is amazing, because you have to mold yourself on whatever happens. In my case, this happened, so there's that. Oh, Poland, really? You actually took the rest of the Teutons, bro. It's like you're asking for me to attack you, aren't you? So now that Aragon is not over here anymore, there's no point in me taking Corsica. It would just be a waste of aggressive expansion points that I can just use in my war against the Poles. I will, however, release Corsica as its own independent country because the more members in the HRE, the better it is for me, let's face it. 130, 100. Coalition-wise, nobody, because I'm only taking cores of my vassal Savoy. Let's also check what their military tech is at. It's 5. Oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. We also can apparently get a royal marriage with Burgundy and an alliance with them, so I'm going to go for that too before my war with the Poles because I want to increase my chances of actually getting the union over Burgundy. Okay, hold up. So we got a holy war CB on the Ottomans. That's because we are rival to the Ottomans and we allied the Burgundians. They give this CB to us via their mission tree. Holy schnaps, man. Holy war CB, you say, huh? That would not be such a bad idea actually right now. 75% aggressive expansion. That is such a tough decision for me because I both want to attack the Ottomans, but I also want to get my union with Poland. And I feel like my union with Poland should take priority because it's going to make me so much stronger than just taking a few provinces from the Ottomans. Although taking provinces from the Ottomans means I weaken them. So yeah, it's not an easy decision. Whoa! Poland just attacked Muscovy, at war with Muscovy and their vassals. Hold up a second, my boy. What the schnaps? Poland's Oh, wow. Muscovy's got only 17,000 units. I would attack Muscovy if I knew that. Holy schnaps. All right, that's a good choice on Poland's side. But I am going to be attacking Poland. I want to take advantage of the fact that they're at war with the Muscovites to quickly grab all of their forts. And this way I can get my own peace deal done. Now, I could go for Imperial Band CB, which means I would take back the provinces belonging to the HRE. But my main goal is to take the southern provinces, because taking these means I get my PU over them in the next war, or next war, depends on how many provinces I can get right now. So let's set up Novi Saks as my war target, and let's call in our allies. This is not going to be easy, it's not going to be difficult, but I'll try to make it as quick as possible. Boom shakalakadoom, and aber unser let's go ski. That means Tellia's in this war, so let's quickly siege him out and get him out of the war. Also means Naples in the war, my most recent ally. I actually allied them in the hopes that maybe they're not going to join on the side of the Poles, but those were hopes in vain, apparently. I'm going to do a very quick Carpathia Siegius, and I'm going to have my main armies rush for the fortifications. So far, so good. We've actually managed to get a sizable chunk of Poland, and their units are still trapped in the eastern part. I guess they're still fighting the Russians. And just as I said that, they're probably going to focus all of their units on me now. Always how it goes. So, the Poles actually did manage to get military tech 6 now, which means that they likely will try to fight me. I'm going to let them fight the Muscovites in the south, though, because the Muscovites actually got a hold of this fort here. Maybe with a little bit of luck, these guys are going to push into the Muscovites, fight them, and then I can go and take the fort afterwards, after they fight each other, right? My troops are also very close to each other, which is why they don't really try and attack me, because they know that I would reinforce if they did. So keep that in mind whenever you're fighting the AI. If you have units close to each other, the AI will try not to attack your units and prioritize your allies or other nations they might be at war with. Finally, we also managed to get Tellia, which means we can piece these bad boys out. Tellia is one of those special nations because it's one of those nations that, despite being a one province minor, always gets some insane alliances like Poland, like Naples. I even seen them get the Ottomans once as an ally, man. It's just insane, these boyos. Hey, look at that. I was exactly right about what I said. The Poles pushed into the Muscovites, so let's bring our units into the south. Yeah, I'm gonna need more units than that, so let's bring all of these bad boys here, make a big army, and rush together in the south. They might rush my units in Vilnius. Let's reinforce Vilnius, I guess. Ooh, I don't think I can reinforce Vilnius in time. Oh, this is really bad. This is really, really bad. Yep, I knew it. I freaking knew it. I got a Chad Lord of a general, but I don't think that's gonna be enough, though. Let's see, 16,000. We got 4-6. Oh my god, Stefan France is an absolute beast. If we win this, this is 100% because of Stefan. No, we're not gonna win it. We might as well retreat now because we're gonna lose a lot of units otherwise. Let's go back to Warsaw and push from Warsaw with our whole army in the south first, because that's their actual province in Bessarabia, and then we can take the forts from the Lithuanians afterwards. I'm actually gonna keep a few of these units, and I'm gonna send them in the north to help siege down the province of Königsberg. I'm not gonna go for 100% in this war with the Poles for a couple of reasons, actually. First off, I cannot take all the provinces that I need to get the PU afterwards on them. I need to do a second war, and because of that, I'm gonna take only these provinces. This is gonna give me a slightly shorter truce, not too short, but slightly shorter, as well as it's gonna give me less aggressive expansion. So only these few countries in a coalition against me, and in a couple of days it's gonna reset as well. I'm not gonna take any money, don't really need that. 9186, that is a-okay with me, and in the next war against them we can take Krakow as well as the other 3 or 4 provinces that we need here. So it's 2 more wars until we get the rest of Poland, I guess, meaning the PU over Poland. Also have to say that it's insane how Poland actually managed to schnoopel-dupe the Muscovites, which means that if they win against Muscovy again in the next war, I will get a PU over pretty much all of Eastern Europe, not just Poland and Lithuania. Also, we will of course release Galicia Volhynia from the province of Przemysl, which means we can feed them back all of their cores. If we hover over this, you can see they have roughly around 9 cores on Poland and Lithuania. So we're gonna return those 9 cores to our future vassal. I'm not gonna release them just yet because I already am struggling with my Diplo relation slots. I'm at 9 out of 8, so I'm actually losing 1 mana per month for that, which means I want to start integrating Savoy, which also means I'm gonna have to go to war with the Swiss now. I will give the Burgundians maybe some land as well, and then when I get the Burgundian inheritance, I get that land for free because, you know, it's my land, boys. My troops are in position. Let's go ahead with the war. I forgot to do one thing. I'm gonna make sure that Burgundy knows these 2 provinces are off limits in case they decide to take them for themselves. And now let's do the war, actually. I am gonna call everybody in this, not because I need them, but because I want to finish this war as soon as possible. The sooner I finish it, the better, so I can actually focus on the rest of the things things that I really need to focus on here. Let's go ahead for the capital of Bern. I'm canceling all of the alliances that Landshut over here has in the hopes that the neighbors of Landshut actually will attack them and maybe get a union over them so they can form Bavaria. I want them to form Bavaria because the moment that Bavaria forms, I get a mission that gives me a PU over Bavaria, but I don't get that unless they actually form Bavaria. So canceling these alliances gives a higher chance of Ingolstadt attacking them. Ingolstadt's the closest to forming Bavaria in my opinion. München also is pretty small. They only have an alliance with Goslar, so if Ingolstadt's smart enough, they should attack Landshut now whilst Landshut is weak and get that PU. I'm also going to be disbanding my Grand Company and my Free Company after the war is over. I'm doing this because the mercenary companies are quite expensive now. It's cheaper to just have regular units at this point in the campaign, and I'm going to replace all the mercs. I'm not going to get mercenaries anymore unless I'm really desperate for units or something like that. Oh, hold on a second. We got a 435 weak heir or 2 papal influence. Hails to the 435 is what I need, my boys. Let's call this guy one of the standard names in the Middle Ages for royalty. Johnny Sinsberg von Habsburg. This is a real medieval German name. Now here's a little bit of a dilemma, right? I want to give Burgundy most of the Swiss lands, and they would take it actually. Look at this. They would take all of this. But the problem is that would give me a lot of bad imperial authority because Burgundy's not a part of the empire. But then again, once Charles passes away and he's already 47, there's a pretty high chance I'm gonna get the inheritance since I'm both allied to them. I'm the HRE emperor and I've been secretly bribing them the good old Romanian way. That's how you really do this. But yeah, the point is that it's a double-edged sword. I am gonna give this to Burgundy because then I'm gonna be inheriting all of these lands myself once I inherit Burgundy. So look at this, coalition wise, not really anyone, mostly just HRE nations, but because we're doing this on the last day of this year, it's not that bad. It's gonna reset a lot of things in a couple of days, so should have done it on 31st actually. No problem. There you go, boys. Now we got balance of power because we have is rival, great power, ally, great power, boom shakalaka, and we got connection of further Austria because we took that one province in St. Gallen, meaning we got claims on all of Switzerland. Not that we need them, but we still have them, meaning we did one more mission. We can ask Burgundy to give back the land they unlawfully took, but it's fine because we gave it to them. Most importantly though, we gave back all of the Savoyan land so we can start integrating them. I actually forgot to improve relations with them. Wow, that is big Pepega moment. If we take a look at our coalition map mode, you can really see that pretty much nobody cares about it. Just a few countries in the south bit of Germany, but that's fine because we're not going to be expanding in Germany anymore for the time being. All we're going to do now is focus on getting on our alliances with the Italians so we can rein them in, and then we're going to be going with the war against the Poles again to get the rest of the provinces that we want and just focus on internal stuff, building up our economy, because once the 1500 strike, which is in 19 years, right, we will have the Polish Lithuanians, we will have the third imperial reform done, and that's when we start massively attacking everybody, aggressively attacking everybody to make them join the HRE, and as consequence we're gonna reform into the Holy Roman Empire super fast, hopefully by 1550 if we play our cards right and we got a little bit of good RNG too. And this is just a casual play, by the way. I'm not even try-harding or anything. I'm just enjoying myself and trying to make the most out of this campaign. This is doable a lot faster. By 1500 you can even reform the HRE if you try hard and you out F4 every time you got some bad luck and so on. Wait, what? Livonian Order is still alive and they would agree with me vassalizing them diplomatically? No freaking way, dude. No freaking way. Holy mother of God. They solve the cores? They do! Bro, what? How did I not notice these guys earlier? Oh my God, I'm still gonna try and vassalize them. Let's bring back this guy from Genoa. I'm also gonna be building up a small fleet because I plan on attacking Venice and I plan on taking the Venetian city itself, so I'm gonna need a fleet for that. Let's say for now, do up 3 in each of these provinces. Galleys. You know what? Hell, let's go up to 15 galleys. Max it out, boys. How many they got? They got 27 ships. Let's see how many of those are actual galleys, though. 7 light ships, 1 heavy, and 8 galleys. I think we can win against that. And you know what? I plan on making some diplo-vassals around here, too. Let's say we can make Verona our first diplo-vassal in Italy now, since they would be more than willing to accept this. And since I need this area for a mission anyway, might as well, right? Boom, Shakilaki domes. Maybe Padova, too? How about Padova? Would you guys agree? You would agree. That would put me a little bit over my diplo relations, though. Is it worth it, Padova? Actually, Aquileia has 14 development. Way worth it. There you go, 50 and -3. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that because we're going to be integrating Savoy anyway. We might as well get some new vassals, right? We can cancel our alliance with, was it Mines, which I don't need anyway to get the emperorship since I have enough people voting for me. That way, I free up some of my diplo relation slots. Boom, Shakolowski. And we got half of what we need for our mission for Naples. The other half we're going to get once we get the war with the Venetians, of course. We're pretty much going to finish them off because we're going to take this as well for Milan. And I guess I'm going to give Ravenna over to the Papal State. So Venice is going to completely disappear unless they still have Crete. They do have Crete, so I guess they're not going to completely disappear. Wait, what? I have 11 out of 10 diplo relations. Oh, right, because I just got the national idea. That's why I got 10 diplo relations. So then what I could do is I could cancel the alliance with Mainz and I could get another vassal in Padova. Yes, let's do that now. That would actually be super okay. Let's do one more vassal. We got a little Italian vassal swarm, I guess. And also, because I managed to vassalize these nations, they joined the HRE, giving me even more imperial authority. So I'm really, really close now to actually getting my third reform. Boom shakalaka, Padova just joined, giving me even more imperial authority. But that's besides the point. The main point is that we got a lot of vassals now. I think I'm going to get Baden as a vassal too, since I'm most likely going to be able to. Yep, 50-42. Baden is always one of the first victims when it comes to diplo vassalization as Austria. I didn't get them earlier because they're not a strategically important country, but it's good to have them whenever I'm short on the amount of vassal swarms that I have. To help out with the integration process, I will be concentrating development in some provinces of Sardinia, or better yet, Piedmont, not Sardinia, making it a little bit faster. 1490. It's still going to take a while. Holy schnapps, man. Why is it taking so long? Same religion base. They're not the same culture though, so that's an issue there. And I need a little bit more diplo reputation. So let me actually get this diplo reputation advisor. He's Dalmatian, so I cannot promote him, which kind of is poo-poo. And of course, I got -1 stability hit. Why wouldn't I, right? Best moment to get a stability hit. As my second age ability, I'm going to go for the transfer subject ability, which lets me transfer subjects from other countries, i.e. maybe we can get some Sweden in our salad, boys. Swedish salad, was it? No, it was Swedish buffet, right? Wait, what? Sweden's independent? Probably should have checked before. Come on, really? At least they have Norway still. We got Norway, boys. We're good. I really hate admitting this, but I seriously overestimated my naval capabilities. I got my ass kicked fighting the Venetian fleet, so I'm not going to try a third time. It's pointless. Even though I have more galleys, they got a better navy overall because they got more ships. So I got to build more ships for the next war, I guess. That means I am going to be making peace with them, and I'm not making a separate peace with Modena because this is also adding some war score to this particular peace deal. If I was to peace out Modena separately, I would not get the peace deal that I wanted. I'm at 78 out of 80, so a couple more months and I should be able to get Brescia, Bergamo, and Treviso, meaning they're left with their capital. They're also left with Ravenna and Cyprus, so in the next war I can get all of that schnapps for me, and I can also focus on the Poles in the meanwhile. I've also advanced my integration of Savoy by quite a little bit because I actually got my national idea unlocked now, so I'm going to be able to integrate them by 1487 May, meaning this year. I've also gotten a lot more diplo reputation now, so we're getting this way faster than we were before. There you go, 79, 78. Let's bring back one of our diplomats. Coalition, honestly, very surprised to see that there's almost nobody in a coalition against us. It also means that I can easily continue expanding in the Polish lands and take all the stuff that I need in 2 years when I declare my second war against them. I have to say also that Treviso is a pretty good location for a fort. It's a hill fort, and together with the mountain fort in South Tyrol, I actually have pretty much secured the eastern entrance into the Italian peninsula. Alrighty, boys, we got our annexation of Savoy, which means we freed up one more of our diplo slots, and once we integrate Burgundy, once the Burgundian inheritance triggers, I'll have a direct connection to these lands, so that means I'm going to be able to start expanding my empire into the French land, which is going to be good since once I release the various French subjects, previous subjects, and fracture France, I'm going to get maybe 2 imperial reforms just from adding to the empire these particular nations here. It is also time to release Galicia, Volhynia. There you go. And with these bad boys, we're going to feed them up so many cores afterwards. Look at this juicy diplomatic map mode right here. We're going to use them as our main war goal once we attack the Poles for the reconquest of their cores, and we add to that the province of Krakow for ourselves directly, which is going to take quite a little bit of the war score since it's 27%. They've actually developed this province 7 freaking times, man. And let's also not forget to... Oh! Got Burgundy, boys! Hello! Sorry. Did I forget to hide my excitement? Yes, we got Burgundy, boys. The chances are pretty high on our side, to be fair, because we are the emperor, so that gives us like a 50% chance to get them. And then we also royal married them, allied them. That increases our chances as well. Later down the line, once we go through the Burgundian inheritance here, and we are of course going to keep our union with Burgundy, we're going to get even more imperial authority. And I was just going to say that I'm going to get a lot of imperial authority with what I was about to do, but now I'll just wait for this to happen. And we can also do the Austrian Netherlands mission, which gives us colonial range. I don't really care about that. Oh, I didn't do this mission yet. I just need loyalty for burghers and clergy. Burghers, clergy. Oh, wow. Okay, I need... How about if I summon the diet and go for the burghers mission? Gulf of Venice, 30% trade power. Yeah, that's doable. That's definitely doable. Not gonna lie, I pretty much forgot my trail of thought after this happened, so... And yes, guys, if you don't get it, you can also Alt F4 until you do get the Burgundian inheritance. But as Austria, most likely you will get it on your first try. The French usually have to Alt F4 a lot before they get it. Also, forgot to lower the autonomy after I integrated Savoy and Wallachia, so let's do that. That was a waste of a lot of ducats and manpower that I didn't get from not lowering the autonomy. Since I'm gonna go to war with the French because I'm gonna keep the union, I'm gonna have to bring my units back to the western bit of my empire. I was getting ready for the war with the Poles, which is in 1 year, but I guess I'm gonna have a war with both the Poles and the French in 1 year now. Let's prioritize the French though, get them out of the way, and then we can focus on the Poles after as well. Hey, we just got the Reichshofrat. Totally pronounced that perfectly the first try, which gives us the ability to get until the end of the game +1 Diplo reputation and idea cost, or just 1 stability. No brainer, go for the idea cost reduction, of course, and the reputation. That is insanely powerful. It does mean that we now have to struggle a little bit with our stability, but no worries. Once we get the points, we're gonna go up to 1 stability again. And let's also recruit some more units. We want to standardize our armies. I haven't really been focusing on my armies that much recently, and I have to get a lot more units to make these bad boys up to 1480 standards, let's say, right? And now our decision is set in stone. Let's see if the French are willing to go to war with us because of this. If they choose to go to war, it's their own schnuberl. Some of you might have also guessed what I'm doing here. I'm trying to make Mantova and Lucca my vassals because I'm going to be reigning in the Italians, and the biggest issue I have when reigning in the Italians is that some of these small OPMs here in Italy right now is pretty much only OPMs. But yeah, some of these just rival each other like schnapps. And if I was to ally all of them, I couldn't ally all of them because of the rivalry. So by vassalizing some of them, I cancel out that factor and make it easier for myself to just ally everybody in North Italy so I can reign them in afterwards. Let's also not forget about our little Livonian Order vassal, because I actually kind of did forget about that one. So next month, we're going to make these boys our Diplo vassals. We are at 14 out of 11 Diplo relations, so we are struggling with this a little bit. We're really far behind with our Diplotech also. Alright guys, so we have roughly half a year to get an alliance with every single Italian nation that's in the HRE so we can rein them in. Now, it might not seem that difficult, but half a year to get these alliances is not so easy when they're all rival to each other, essentially. We did already get alliances with Saluzzo, Monferrato, we vassalized Mantua and Lucca, and we got a royal marriage with Florence. The reason for that is because if I did not get the royal marriage, I would not be able to get the alliance with them afterwards. Take note, Genoa is also a rival to Florence, but if I get the alliance with Florence first, I can still get the alliance with the Genoa. However, if I got the alliance with Genoa first, I would not be able to get the alliance with the Florence afterwards. So keep that in mind. It is extremely vital that you know the order in which you should be getting the alliances when you do this. Similar here, I need to get a royal marriage with Naples in order to get this alliance, because it's going to get rid of the extra Diplo slots debuff, which was -20, so now we have 123, 105, meaning that in 1 month I can get the alliance with Naples. The same thing applies here. Ferrara is rival to all 3 of the other 3 remaining OPMs, so I'm gonna have to get that alliance with Ferrara first. Otherwise, if I allied these guys first, I would never be able to get the alliance with Ferrara afterwards. So the order is gonna have to be ally Bologna next, ally Corsica, ally Naples, and last but not least, ally Modena. I might might have to actually get a royal marriage with Modena also in order to ally them. So that's a little bit of a Pepega moment, but it is what it is. I am right now struggling. I got 20 out of 11 Diplo relation slots. After I rein in the Italians, however, I'm going to get rid of these alliances, so I'm not going to lose the extra Diplo relation slots. It's just temporary, so I can do this decision. And of course, guys, remember, in your game it might be different. Just take a note of the advice that I'm giving, that allying specific nations first is vital, otherwise you're not going to be able to replicate this. Alright boys, we got the alliance with every single Italian nation that owns provinces within the HRE. So now we can reign in Italy. The Shadow Kingdom happens. We get 25 imperial authority, which means we can do the third reform now, and that means it's game on, boys, because from now on I can super quickly do my imperial reforms and restore the Holy Roman Empire. Well, actually form the Holy Roman Empire, because it was never around before, was it? But yeah, let's now cancel all of the alliances that we have, because this is a lot of problems here. Diplo relations galore, basically. And after we dissolve all of these alliances, we can go to war with the Poles, because the truce literally just finished 1 month ago. So we can get the rest of the provinces that we want to get. Oh, looks like Sweden and Gotland would not even join. So I'm going to go for the reconquest of my course. Let's see where we at with Diplo relations. 1911, so still have to cancel quite a lot of these bad boys. I think Corsica's up next. I did have to get royal marriage with some of those nations, so even if I cancel the alliance now, it's pointless. That's why I'm not canceling with Florence and with Siena. I will cancel these two a little bit later down the line, whenever either my leader dies or I have enough admin points that I can afford to lose a couple of stab hits to cancel the royal marriage, essentially. But with a little bit of luck also, maybe we get our Habsburgs on their throne, albeit for the Neapolitans it's kind of irrelevant, since I have a PU on them that I'm going to get soon anyway, once I get the last Venetian province. I also had to give subsidies to Lucca in order to diplo-vassalize them. I was actually giving around 38 ducats to Lucca. That's why I was on the minus with my economy, but not to fear. We're a-okay economically. Remember that giving subsidies also increases the relations, so it's always a good idea to check what subsidies you can give out in order to advance your diplomatic goals. Maybe diplo-vassalize someone or something of the sorts, right? Oh, look at that. We got 4 nations with Habsburgs on the throne. Who is that, though? Is it our junior members? Let me check the dynasty map mode. We got us, we got Hungary, Bohemia, Burgundy. Oh yeah, I guess that is 4, isn't it? That is indeed 4 nations. Oh, and Milan also, right? So it's quite a few nations, not just 4 nations. We are the most spread out dynasty after all, right? Hey, you know what? Let's call our allies in the war. Might as well do it so we can quickly finish the war and wait for the truce to finish afterwards, right? So we can get the union afterwards. And remember, guys, I have a link in the description to this second save game as well, alongside the first save game from the previous part of this campaign, available to all my patrons and channel members as a token of my appreciation for all the support you guys have been doing. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to maintain this channel without all the support on Patreon and from the channel members, so thank you from the bottom of my heart, everybody. Thank you so much. I really cannot express how much it means to me to be able to do what I love, play the games that I love playing, and at the same time make this my full-time job, right? After we get the union on Poland and we start integrating our vassals in North Italy, I'm gonna be getting an alliance and a royal marriage with the Castilians, because there's a pretty high chance of an event triggering in Castile that puts a Habsburg on the throne, and then we can get the union over Castile also within the 1500s. Oh, I didn't pay attention and they actually attacked my army in the south. No, let's retreat before we lose too many troops there. Once more, cancel the alliances of Telia with everybody else around them and make them give us their trade power. Don't you just hate it when they discover your spy network? I feel like it's one of the most annoying things in this game. Sometimes, especially when you really need that spy network in there, they discover it, man. Unbelievable. Let's make sure we transfer the control over here to Galicia Volhynia so we can directly give it to them in the peace deal. Another good part about giving these lands to Galicia Volhynia is that we can integrate this nation faster before we integrate Poland, Lithuania, and that way it takes less time to integrate Poland, Lithuania when the time arrives for that. Look at that, boys. We're taking all these lands and we only get 7.2 aggressive expansion. But then look at this. When we take Krakow, it goes up to 31 aggressive expansion by contrast. Let's not forget, I'm also going to give back this province over in Flantiand to my Livonian vassal. Interesting how the Ottomans are also struggling to get a hold of Trebizond. Karakoyunlu is really holding their own. But that being said, the Ottomans are going to be my biggest challenge in the next part of this campaign, when I'm going to have a massive war against. I'm kind of happy to see that because, you know, it's pretty much like the end game boss in my particular campaign at least. And I'm happy to have some big wars in the late campaign, not just basically push over, kill everybody with little to no repercussions, which is pretty much what I'm doing right now, right? Keeps the game a little bit more interesting this way, I'd say. Let's also start our golden era. I prefer to usually start my golden era around the 1500s or just prior to the 1500s, since this is when you need a lot of ideas unlocked, you need to catch up with technology and so on. But of course, this is situational, obviously, and it depends from game to game, so just mold yourself on whatever you need in your particular games. And looks like we can do the peace deal. Let's bring this guy back. Booyah Snokos. We can take some money as well. 39 ducats. Yeah, I'd rather not. Doesn't matter. There you go. 108, 104. Coalition-wise, very few nations, and we're giving back the stuff to our vassals. Plus, we're taking Krakow, which I believe is the only things that we need and only in order to get the restoration of union on Poland. There you go. Austria gets restoration of union CB. I will not click this mission, however, until I have my truce over with them, which is going to be in 1504. And then I can actually say that I've got pretty much all of Europe, or most of Europe, really, since by that point I will also be going into the Spanish lands, and also will probably have integrated most of the vassals that I have in Italy, right? Oh no, the Duchess of Burgundy just died, meaning we are inheriting all of Burgundy. Look at all these amazing lands we got now, and we literally are more than half of Europe just from integrating all of these extra Burgundian juicy lands. Let's now set up our units, set up our fleets and everything, because we have some internal administrative changes to do right now, let's face it. There's gonna be an issue here in the Netherlands. If we do not have the Dutch provinces as accepted provinces, then we're gonna get the Dutch Netherlands revolt. However, because we are German primary culture and we are an empire, all of these are considered accepted cultures, so it should not trigger the rebellion. If it's still gonna trigger it, we can also just change our capital to Den Haag or somewhere like this. In fact, I probably will change my capital here later down the line, because this is one of the best economic areas in the game, and having both trade capital and regular capital here has massive economic advantages in my opinion. Plus, it's a lot harder for the Ottomans to ever siege the capital of the Austrians if it's in the freaking Netherlands, isn't it? See, this is what the Austrians should have done all along historically. I don't know why they didn't just change the capital to the Netherlands, right? Makes no sense, man. We gotta also change one of our merchants so he starts collecting in the English Channel, bringing in more income from trade. And we have not done this mission just yet. We're close to it though, so maybe if I say upgrade these centers and I put the protect trade edict, that should be of help. Let's see if that works. I'm also going to sell some titles so I can get some money in the meanwhile, and I can use this money to upgrade these centers of trade at the same time. This one looks like we need to develop it a little bit. There you go. Boom shakalaka. Let's wait for a little while to refresh. Oh wow, really? Just 26%? Wow, okay. In that case, yeah, I gotta get Venice under my control, don't I, to do that mission. Alright boys, well, I've been recording this for 8 hours. This is likely gonna turn into like 1 hour recording, considering I'm keeping a lot more in now. And my wife just brought me some delicious food. Look at that chicken she made for me right there. So I gotta eat. But hey, if you want to see the next part, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future. Plus, until the next time, check out this awesome Ottoman run. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support.